Let's catch up with Chris and start talking about the next big adventure.
And thanks for having a chat with me today about the Europe trip. It's come about because Indian Riders Festival in Europe that's held every year. I think it's only been going for about 5 years. I met the head honcho at an event and suggested that maybe I should go over there with Calamity and be on show and do what I do at these bike events. And he agreed. He's been a follower of mine. Arranged for me to be in the Czech Republic June for this 4-day Indian Riders Fest. It's not about me, it's about the bike, right? So Calamity is the star of the show, so we've got to get her over there. I'll be shipping her over in a few weeks at the end of February. Port in the UK near London. Get there, 3 weeks before the festival, and obviously do some riding. So I'm starting to organise the route. So all up I'll be gone for just shy of 8 weeks. So that's why I'm shipping the bike. This will be the last time I ship the bike anywhere, I think, because it's a bit of an exercise. We're leaving so early to take into consideration that sometimes there's port strikes, cyber attacks, there's wars. Normally it's probably a 5 to 6 week route from Australia to UK, but we've allowed an extra few weeks to think it does get there in good time because I've started planning the trip. We'll guarantee pickup from the 3rd of June, so I have definitely organised rides from pickup from them, but the likelihood is that it will arrive earlier, which I hope it does, and then I can pick it up earlier and do Ireland, because at the moment Ireland is my first week. And now if Calamity is not in the UK by then, I have arranged with Indian to get a press bike so I can still do Ireland, but it won't be on Calamity. But I really hope she's there by then because I would love to ride her through Ireland. And then the second week is Scotland. And then the third week is crossing over into Belgium, which I'll talk about the route in a minute.
What are the differences with shipping to US and to UK?
A lot of steps that you go through, and there's different things. So it's quite different to how I shipped the bike to America a couple of years ago. It's just different forms and everything. So this time I'm going with Bikes Abroad. They do one big container a year for the Isle of Man TT. So there's a bunch of bikes going. So I'll be jumping in on that lot. So the differences, I think, outside of the odd paperwork, I still need what you call a green card for Europe. Which is like a registration of the bike. You've got to get a visa now for the UK, which is like $20. I've got to do one for Europe, which they haven't started that yet, but I think they will by the time I go. So, and then the paperwork for the container is very similar. I've got to get marine insurance, which is about $600. The bike has to be sort of clean. I've got to list all the stuff on it. You've got to only have a litre of fuel in there. The battery needs to be disconnected. So all that is very similar to shipping to the US was. But I think the big difference with USA and Europe, once I'm there, is the roads. America, like Australia, is some big open spaces. So there's big open roads, there's lots of signature rides, and for big cruisers that sort of suits it. Europe is a different kettle of fish. There's all those countries combined into the size of Australia, so it doesn't take long to get from A to B and cross. Maybe you could probably cross 3 or 4 countries in a day. Roads are more narrow because it's sort of more ancient, I guess, and there's cobbled streets and things like that. So a big cruiser in those situations is a little bit daunting for me, and I won't lie, I am a little bit anxious about all of that. I have been to Europe before, and I lived in the UK for 6 years, so I'm very familiar with the roads over there and just how tiny they are, and they're often just one-way traffic a lot of the time, and we all know what a big beast Calamity is. It's going to be interesting, so it's going to require a little bit of a different strategy for riding, I think.
So you are nervous? How much have you pre-planned?
Oh, am I nervous? You bet I am. I am a little bit anxious and nervous about this trip, simply because of that differences that I was talking about. And there's a big language barrier too for the second half of the trip. As I said before, the first week is Ireland. I hope to make the bike shed show in London. Second week is is Scotland. Then I come out of Scotland. I'm on a boat from Hull to Rotterdam, and then that third week is Belgium, Germany, into the Czech Republic, into where the festival's being held in southern Bohemia in a place called Lipno. Then that's the first 3 weeks. The second lot of weeks of 3 or 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's a lot. So from the festival, I'm going to ride through the Dolomites and all around Italy and those areas into Lake Garda, where I've been invited to another bike event in Lake Garda. Now that takes us to the end of June. And then from Lake Garda, I'm going to spend an extra couple of days there, a bit of downtime. From there, I haven't worked out the plan, but I've basically got 10 days to get back to the UK, where I need to do south of UK and visit some friends. And also I've got an appearance booked with Indian at their big dealership, I think in Birmingham. That's not been confirmed. I'm waiting to hear back from them. But on Saturday, the 12th of July, I'll be doing a show for Indian UK. And then basically that's a Saturday. And then on the Tuesday, I'll hop on a plane and come back home via Istanbul, where I stop for 3 days on the way because I've heard that's a pretty cool country. And of course, get Calamity back on at the docks, ready to be loaded into a container, ready to come back to Australia, which she could be another 2 months away from meeting me back here. But luckily I've got Wally, so I can still ride. Dotted out, except those last, say, 2 weeks where I don't know. I might go down to Monaco, but this is where I think I'll pick up a lot of local intel from the people. Make that bit up when I'm over there, I think.
What is the cost? Break it down.
Oh yeah, everyone wants to know the cost. Okay, the cost is, well, look, it's about $6,000 return to freight the bike from Australia to UK. That doesn't include marine insurance, which it might be about, I don't know, $500 or $600. Green card, another $500 or $600. Got all your own personal stuff. I haven't even done that yet. The euro is sitting at 50 odd euro to the dollar, which is, it's always been about that. You know, it's not like the American dollar. It doesn't fluctuate as much. It's been that way for a long time. So roughly half. So it's expensive. You know, going to Europe's not in the best interest for the Australian dollar. So I'd say with accommodation, fuel, food, I would estimate out flights, of course. So all up, I think this trip probably will cost me close to $30,000.
Are you documenting the trip like you did for USA?
Absolutely, I will be filming, and I will be doing it pretty much every day and uploading every day. So you can expect quite a few episodes. I am in talks with UK Indian and also a German TV, sort of reality TV or live doco TV thing that they're interested in maybe seeing what I can come up with, which would be great. So you can expect episodes, a bit like the USA. There'll be episodes from this one being the first one, I guess.
Are you doing the fundraising type of thing again? Tank toppers?
Yeah, okay. Like last time, if anyone watched the USA trip I did start a tank topper thing. If someone shouted me a tank of fuel for $35. The video's first up. I pretty much, in most of the cases, produced them that night. So people really sort of felt they were along for the journey. You know, I don't know what to do with this one. It'd be great to get a little bit of fuel money. That noise is the seat. It would be good to get a fuel money. I've thought about Patreon. There is that super thanks thing on YouTube where you can donate a couple of bucks. I'm thinking about it because it is an expensive thing, and as you know, a lot of hours goes into the editing. So you know, not only am I writing, filming, and doing all my stuff all day, and talking to people and meeting people, it's at the end of the night. When I close the door behind me, I still have 4 or 5 hours of editing to do, assuming that the Wi-Fi is always good, getting it up each night so you can join me. Thinking about what to do with that. Do I do a Patreon thing where the people on Patreon who shout me a tank of fuel, or do another tank topper situation where you guys get on a mailing list and you get sent the link, they're listed privately, and then I release them when I come back? I don't know. If you've got any comments or thoughts on that, do I just keep ploughing on with YouTube and trying to get to the point where YouTube actually pay me? But you need thousands of subscribers. You know, I'm coming up to 4. I haven't even cracked 5 yet. I don't really earn very much from YouTube. Maybe every now and then I get $100 or something. So I'm thinking about that one.
Can you explain why you have changed your name so many times?
Yeah, I'm now the Creative Cruiser. You know, I started off as the Aussie and the Indian, and the reason I dropped that was because I was getting lots of emails and messages from people thinking that I was like a dating service or an expat service where I get Australians with Indians together, as in from India, you know, Red Dot India. Getting spammed and everything like that. So I dropped that and went to the barbering biker because I thought, oh, that's a great, I came up with that idea during COVID. I thought that was a good idea. And I still think it's a great idea, but sadly, not sadly, I don't do a lot of barbering because when I'm at bike events, when I'm there to do that sort of stuff, and bikers are notorious for their wild hair and their wild beards. Well, guess what? They want to keep them that way. So they don't want anyone like me with scissors and clippers coming near them. So unless I get a town that's got someone that wants a makeover, and I still get the odd request for that, and so I can still be the barbering biker, I felt that name was sort of a bit irrelevant. Creative Cruiser came out because I am very, very creative. I do my portraits, I do all sorts of stuff, and I figure the Creative Cruiser, why not? But, eventually it'll probably just be, hey, Chris, what's your channel up?
You are a solo rider, nobody to join you.
This trip is solo. So I am solo. As most of you that follow me know, that I was in a relationship for a couple of years and that all fell to shit. So that's the end of that sort of world for me. I don't think I'll ever enter into any sort of relationship, and I think I'm just better off alone. I'm the type of character that I'm very independent, and while that's attractive to people in the beginning, I don't think it's attractive to anyone in the end. I think the very things about me that people are drawn to are the very things that piss them off in the end. So I'm not going down that track anymore. So it's solo for me. This trip is solo, and I'm looking forward to that. However, I do have some great followers in the UK and in Europe, and I'm arranging to meet up with people along the way, and some people will ride with me for some legs. I'm just going to wing it, and I'm not the best person to ride with, quite frankly, because I do go off on tangents, and I do need that flexibility and freedom to do my own thing.
You can be a bit controversial. And you drop the odd F-bomb. Why are you not an official Indian ambassador?
A lot of people ask me if I work for Indian motorcycle company. No, I don't. I'm not an official ambassador. In Australia, we don't have that ambassador program. And I've had this discussion with Indian. I'm happy to support them. They're happy to support me. They support me in lots of ways. I never expect anything. And they help me out with the odd service. And if I've got a problem, they'll jump in and give me great advice. They're extremely supportive of me. And the reason that I don't want to be an official ambassador is because I then have to toe the corporate line. And those of you that know me do know that I do drop the odd F-bomb, and I am a little bit controversial at times. And when you're with a company, you've got to be on the straight and narrow, as it should be. And I'm just a little bit too freewheeling for that. And they agree with that, and they like that. And certainly Indian don't want to put the shackles on me and change me in any way. They like the way I am, but that's why I'm not an official Indian ambassador. But I love the company and I love the bikes, and I can't see me riding anything else.
Do you like any other brands?
I like Royal Enfields, for instance. I think they've done a great job. I think their price point is good, their styling's good, and they're a nice smaller bike that might be something else I can have in the shed next to the Indians. I don't know. And as you know, I have got that little Yamaha Virago now for scooting around the traffic in Sydney, which is a fun little bike. I do love it.
Anything you would like to add?
Is to thank everybody for their support. I've been very organic in growing my channels. I haven't done any ads. I haven't paid people to go and find me, 1 million subscribers in Pakistan. It's all about the engagement. I'm not interested in having a lot of followers for the sake of it. I want people that genuinely are interested in what I do and like and make comment and engage in a conversation and give me feedback. That's all really worthwhile. And yeah, I do get the odd troll and I do call them out. People say, don't give them oxygen, Chris, they're not worth it. No, sorry. If people are prepared to go public and be trolls about stuff, then I'm prepared to out them. So I don't get very many now because I think people know that I will expose them. Again, thanks everyone for your support and following, and I'm really looking forward to delivering this European trip to everybody. I think it's going to be a fun time, and also then come back and just continue what I do in Australia. That's it. Bye everyone. Thanks again.